Hey, what's going on, fellow money lovers? In this video, we'll go through some $20 bills. I didn't have any real pocket money, so I ran to the ATM. I grabbed out 500 bucks, and let's go through it, see if we can find anything that is at least collectible. But I'll show you kind of what I look for on $20 bills that can make them worth more than, well, 20 bucks. So let's get to it. 2017 A $20 banknote. First, I look in the serial number, of course, if you've watched my videos. I won't bore you too long. Make sure to look at where the color changing ink areas are, the eagle and the shield here in the 20. Those are anti-counterfeiting measures they added in the early 2000s. There's some other areas like this eagle here, and there's a watermark that's in here as well that you can see some print issues with sometimes as far as ink. Nothing crazy on the front there. Since US currency goes through like a multi-phase printing process, three-phase printing process, there's a couple different time periods in that process that errors can occur. And so a good thing to look at is the seals and the serial numbers in relation to them being shifted around. And then, of course, the whole note. If it's shifted, if it's printed off to one side or the other, up, down, or the actual cut of the bill, if it is miscut. 2013. Keep an eye out for excessive ink in the serial number on 2013 notes. It's really common on quite a few of them, especially 1s and 5s. But on $20 notes, you can find them as well. 2006, so not far after that redesign. And nothing too crazy going on. Every time I see this little shadow of the blue ink that protrudes into his hair, I'm like, I think it's a misprint every time, no matter how many years I've been looking through these. There's a little stray ink here. Keep an eye out around these trees around the on the left and right sides of this depiction of the White House. Sometimes there's ink smears and stuff that'll happen there. This is a tiny one. If it was more dramatic, I'd probably hold on to it. And 1, 2, 3, missing a 4. Almost a really cool serial number. If we would add a 4 in there instead of 2 3s, it would have been a broken ladder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think those are really collectible. You can let me know in the comments if you disagree. But I would have held on to it if it was that. Other than that, nothing crazy. This one's a little folded up and beat up, so condition would be a thing if it was collectible, but worth $20. 1, 2, 3, 4, missing a 5. So a couple digits away there. 2013 series as well. The $10 bill is the one that'll be redesigned first. In the next, well, they're supposed to put designs out at the end of this year, but then it's supposed to be redesigned at the, and come out next year, apparently. Another 2013 series. Again, I got these from the ATM, so another thing you'll see is sometimes with ATMs on the edges, one side or the other, sometimes around portions of the note, it's similar to the little teeth marks from the bank, from the counting machine that just tallies up how much money it is. The rollers from the ATM system generally get cleaned by the technician. Those people are usually really good about that. But over time and use and in more high traffic areas, they'll leave kind of debris and dirt here that looks like little rectangle kind of teeth marks almost. So don't get confused by that. This one's really folded and beat up, so moving on. This is cool. It's actually a true AMBIGRAM note. So check this out. You can read this note right side up, MB, and an I on the end, of course. So it's almost, well, we'll have the B backwards, but the actual serial number can be read upside down and right side up. So that is really, really cool. I've seen ones even where flipped upside down, it's almost, well, of course, digits like a 9 and a 6 would be flipped, but it's almost the same serial number. But this is really, really neat. I love these ones. I wouldn't say it's worth like a ton of money over $20. This one has a little tear right here too. But this is a really fun, fancy serial number. Of course, there's, I think a dozen or so that come in each series depending on print run. But really, really cool, and I'm going to hold on to it for kind of a fun collectible. It's also neat that the I and the M here, when flipped over, of course, can be read in another way. And then this B is kind of backwards when you flip it over. But I think it's really cool. You can let me know in the comments if you would keep it. Back of the bill. Pretty clean. Little folded up right here, so somebody probably folded it and shoved it in their wallet or pocket, but I'm going to keep it as a small find. This one's missing a little bit. That gives that ode back to how U.S. currency is printed. You can see that inner layer there kind of exposed from the way this thing got chewed on by somebody. And nothing jumping out on the front. I'll point out another thing on the next one on the front with the color-changing ink you can keep an eye out for. Nothing crazy there. Keep an eye out in these things, same as on other denominations, you know, minus the 2 and the 1. They can have a contaminated inkwell. It's just where the ink was mixed improperly within the portion of where it dispenses it on the note, and prints it onto the note. And you'll actually get where, in general, the ink is a different tone. So that's the dead giveaway. Generally, it's way darker. So that's known as a contaminated inkwell. Nothing going on there. I think there's some other spots you can have that same error, so you can let me know in the comments if you know more detail on it. 2013 as well, so a ton of those. 2013 was a huge run of $20 bills. Nothing jumping out on the back. Little bit of excess of ink from the front there. You can kind of see it in the form of the serial number pressed through to the back. Those I don't get lucky enough, but there are ones I see where both serial numbers you can read backward through the reverse of the note, and those can sell for a bit over face value, but I feel like that's more of a pain in the butt to make a couple dollars. 2017, nothing in the serial number. I'll go a little quicker since I'm keeping you guys up. Nice and damaged. Somebody blew their nose in it. That was sweet of them. 2017A as well. A little bit of damage down here. It looks the form of a misprint, but when you're looking not through a camera, you can tell that it's actually damaged. Somebody had $510 somehow with $20 bills, so you tell me about that. They ripped one in half or something. Nothing on the back. And for a second, I guess I'm blind. I thought we had a date note, but I don't know what I'm looking at. And 883, bunch of 8s. Nothing else going on there. 2017A. I've seen quite a few misaligned prints in 2017A series, especially on both, well, somewhat on the reverse, but a lot on the obverse or front of the bills. Not mine, but in a lot of the groups I'm in. Another 2013 series. Nothing jumping out. A little bit of highlighter up here. Lots of 5s. Let's see. Series 2017A. We got a little bit. You can tell, actually. It's not much off. And it's not enough to be called super collectible. But see, if you look at this bottom one, it's actually lighter as far as the tone than this. Just a hair. It might be hard to see in the camera. But that's more back to that kind of, you know, poor mixture of the tones used to actually print that part of the note. We're down to the last couple $100, so thanks for sticking with me. Some 5s, some 0s, nothing jumping out. Back of the bill. A little bit of funky serial number print, but I'm going to pass. 2017A. And as you can see, this is pretty common for that serial number to poke through there. But if it is the whole thing, hold on to that. I know they can sell for decent money. I see it all the time in the sold listings on eBay. I've yet to see anything like categorized through any of the graders, but it's still really cool in my opinion and can command a little premium. Nothing jumping out there. They're talking about removing Jackson off the note, so you let me know if you know details on that. They're going to replace him with a menagerie of theories, but most notably, they think they're going to put a historical female figure on there, which, hey, I mean, we haven't updated too much of the designs of money, despite, you know, other than anti-counterfeiting features, if I can talk. So, you know, maybe it's due time to see a major change, but you can let me know what you think. Nothing going on there. Little shift over in the seal, but nothing crazy. Nothing going on the serial number. 2017A. And a little damaged up here. Oh, somebody took a bite out of that. This one and that one. These might have all been, maybe somebody returned them to the ATM or something, but they're all chewed up. Hey, but if you watch my videos, then those are the regular notes that I get. All the chewed up ones, the ones people bleed on and put their cigarette out on, all that fun stuff. Nothing going on there. Ripped up. Somebody stuck it to a corkboard or something. Keep an eye out around the repetitious 20s. That's another good spot. Last but not least, beat up $20 note. If you're interested, if you got this far in the video, and you're interested in all the different parts, check out my video on that. But even if you watch all of my videos, then keep an eye out. I'm going to be putting out another updated error video that does cover stuff I've covered before, but some new finds that people are discovering and things to look for. Most notably, though, if you find errors, how to get them graded, how to value them, and kind of how to compare them to other stuff so you know if it's even worth keeping it, if you're going to resell it. What am I keeping? I'm going to hold on to this kind of AMBIGRAM note. I think they're really neat and super collectible in my opinion, but it wouldn't command a major value over face value or anything. I'm just a collector of all things I think is fun. And, hey, if a utility bill comes up and I need to pull out $20, this would be a lesser fine that I wouldn't cry about too much if I had to spend the money. Hopefully you had better luck than me in your coin and banknote searches. Definitely let me know in wherever the comment thing is. Let me know in the comments what you're coming across. I love hearing about that stuff, reading about that stuff. Jump over to the community tab and share pictures of your stuff if you want questions answered on that. And keep an eye out for my videos that are kind of a compilation of all things coins and currency. I'll see you guys in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.